Hello, good evening from London. This is Yogi here. How are you? I hope everybody is doing really well. And so today, this is the piece I'm going to be working on. So this piece, I was going through my webs earlier today, and then I realized I haven't worked on this piece for like 2 weeks. And so tonight, this is about time that I gave you some love. So I'm really, really, really excited to work on this piece today. So this is from Amy Stewart. If you're not familiar with this piece, this is called A Little Cake Shop, and it's from Heaven and Earth. And let me just bring up this beautiful markup for you here. Absolutely gorgeous. There's so much going on. This is absolutely my dream cake shop. And every stitch I make on this piece is bringing me closer to my dream. So this is, I'm working on 25 counts, 1/1, and I'm using pre-gridded DMC fabric here. And in terms of progress, I'm going to just quickly show you here. Let me just bring it on. I'm going to be using Saga for this particular piece. Saga is a markup app here. Let me just bring it up. So currently, let me show you the progress. Is currently, if you look at the upper left there, 13.60, which is not bad at all. Anything double digit makes me very happy. And so I'm gonna work on a defined sort of area there and focus on that. And for today's session, I'm going to create a little timer there and just lightheartedly to track how I'm getting on today, how many stitches I can manage today. So with that, I'm going to pop it back, and I'm going to just quickly look at the chat there. Hello, Rose. Welcome. And Sarah is here as well. And Nikki. Nikki says, hello, chat. And oh, Steve is here. Hello, Steve. And Jan Creation is here as well. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're really well. And I'm so happy everybody's joining the Facebook. And there's so many interesting posts already on the Facebook. And if you haven't joined already, what am I gonna say? I'll probably post a hyperlink for you in the chat there, so you can follow easily. But it is also in the description there. So if you're interested, you can just join. And let me zoom in the screen a little bit. So today, the needle minders, of course, my cupcake here, and a little bit of a, dessert theme there, my Christmas pudding. It's never too early for Christmas. And let me bring up, hopefully, a markup there as well. Maybe I'll move it down a little bit. I have the technology, and I'm going to start. So I'm using DMC floss for this piece, and it's 1/1. And Reva is here as well. Reva says hi, everyone. Adventures as well. Absolutely. Oh, Sarah says, I purchased my Kim chart today. Which one did you get? I'm dying to know. And don't forget, tomorrow is our first stitch along sew day based on stitching Kim Jacobs design, but also anyone who would like to just join us for a stitch along. Just bring your favorite project and you know, let's stitch together. There's nothing more fun than stitching with like-minded people and just relax and chat. So, you know, come along. So what I'm going to work on first is this area here. So the last session, I was very close to finishing it. I think there's only one single color remain. So I'm going to fill it up. It's going to look so pretty. And also the method of choice, I'm going color completion within a defined area. So I'm using Saga here. I'm not bringing up the app screen today, just keeping the screen a little bit cleaner so you can see all the beautiful stitches that's about to happen, about to arrive to this piece. And so I'm going from minimum number of stitches going up to maximum based on colors. And once I'm done with this area, hopefully, and I'll probably move down, it looks really, really interesting. And this area above, you might be wondering, so these involve more sort of, I wouldn't say monotone, but there's more repetitive kind of colors. I'll probably go back to fill them up when I'm in the mood, because sometimes you just want to go, you know, stitch areas that's just more background kind of color combinations. But today I'm really looking for some excitement there, as usual. So I'm going to focus on this area and below as well. So let's go. Oh, and let me have a look. Sarah says, I got Ambleside. I'm trying to recall which one that is. We might have a little Google there. Because the great thing about Kim's work is she doesn't have a massive, massive collection like Amy Stewart, for instance. So when we're doing stitch along, just picking any piece from her, majority of the pieces, we probably have seen them, you know, just by browsing through. So, you know, most of them are quite memorable just by name. So this one I have to check again because I'm pretty sure I've probably seen it. It's just I don't always know the title of the piece. So today I'm going to start from 3704. 3704 is today's lucky first number, and it's a beautiful pink, of course. Let me double check. And this one will go into this area here. Oh, Adventure says, do we need a hashtag for the soul? Well, you can come up one then. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So today, from this point, I'm just so dazzled by all these beautiful pink colors. And because there's so many pieces we've talked about on live stream, you know, from your individual whips, and now we can actually look at the work by our Facebook group. So that's so wonderful. The attention for the fabric today is excellent. So 3706, I'm gonna just quickly check that I have the correct color, because it somehow looks a little bit lighter than the swatch. 3706. 3706. Oh, that's peculiar. 3706. That's a totally different color. I knew it because let me just look at this. 3706 supposed to be this kind of slightly orangey pink. Oh, this is confusing. You know what? I know what that is. Let me show you what that is. This is really funny with Saga, because I do this a lot with Saga. If you're using Saga, I don't know whether you go through the same thing. Let me just quickly show you here. Oh, it's so confusing. So let me zoom out a little bit. If you use Saga, let me know, am I the only one that's going crazy here? So with the highlighter color here, so this line of, different stats here is supposed to tell me which number it is. So the first number is the color of the thread. And then these are 88 is the colors, what number of stitches remain within this area that I defined. Makes sense. And then the last number is the number that I have problem with, because this number is supposed to be the total number of stitches of this color within this piece. Basically gives you some indication of how much floss you need, etc. But every time I cast my eye over this area, I somehow focus on this color, because that looks like a valid thread color. So I was looking at 3706, and this color is 3706. I picked the right one, only I'm reading the wrong spot. It's 3727 that I'm looking for. So I was looking at this color, the swatch here. I'm just thinking, this looks far too light for that, representation of the color. So I'm glad I checked. So I keep doing this with Saga for some reason. Maybe it's just the way it's laid out. It's giving me, my brain just cannot interpret it. It happens many times before, so I have to be very mindful. So this is not a correct number, but it's quite okay. I will just stitch over it and remove this thread and pop it back. It's always worth checking, just in case. And I'm looking for my little scissors there, little thread cutter. I'm gonna just snip off. It's happened enough that I'm very mindful when I check the colors. If the colors just doesn't match for whatever reason. I mean, if this was blue, then it would be obvious, but there's so many shades of pink. 3706. 3706. I will pop it back. Instead, I'm going for 3727. 3727. So I'm warming up, guys. And this is when I mess up, make mistakes, etc. You probably know by now. So let me bring that up one more time. So that looks a little bit more, a bit closer to the swatch. So there you go. Nikki asks, Yogi, when you uploaded your chart to Saga, did you have to fill in your stitches? You did, or did it automatically do it? No, when you upload it, it will be just from square one. It's completely blank. And so yes, you do have to manually you know, reproduce your progress to the other side. So unfortunately, it does not translate. It doesn't transfer your progress over at all. So yeah, so before you do it, think about it. I mean, depending on your stitching method, if you go by page, block by block, it's relatively easy. You know, they have this sort of highlighter there. Let me just bring that the screen up on this rather than showing you the I have the technology here. Rather than showing you the thing, I'm going to show you the actual screen on the screen. I'm not making any sense at all. Let me just have a look. Here's my I attached the wrong cable, that's why. Here we go. Hang on. Give me a little sec. Because there's not a cable I need to attach my tablet to so you can see it properly, because I want to show you. Here, here we go. Beautiful. Now, let me show you the thing. Hang on. Everything is okay. Everything's okay. Oh, let me switch that back. Everything is fine here. I don't know why it doesn't let me do it. So here we go. Beautiful. So now you're looking at the screen here. Let me just remove that. So what I've got here is a self-defined area. So when you transfer your new document blank to Saga, for instance, you can literally just use this box. You can shape it any size. So for instance, if I press this, right, I can resize it to any to cover any number of stitches you want. So it would be pretty quick. And once you have this defined, you can just go a top level commit with just commit all these stitches. Let's say if you have completed this area, you can just go mark everything within this area, and then you can fine-tune you know, bits and pieces. The tricky part is obviously if you're doing cross-country, then that's no fun updating it because there are many loose stitches. So this is just, you know, the reality of you transferring sort of a file over to a new system. So this is, yeah. And now I'm going to, but this is a one-off thing. So if you're thinking about switching back and forth, then maybe it's not going to be very easy to do. But if you're going, well, you know, I just want to work on this piece via a certain app, which is essentially what I'm doing, because once I transfer this pattern over, my plan is to work on this piece solely using Saga. So that's what I'm doing. So I don't mind the initial effort to match up, you know, all the areas that I've worked on. But it's kind of a one-off thing. So, and now I'm here. Let me have a look. So I hope that helps. I think that's what happens if you move it to markup as well. It doesn't pick up any progress because they're not compatible. That's just the way it is. And let me see if I can narrow it down here and lock it so I know where I am. So that's it. So this is the area I'm working on. And this is the correct color here. Oh, Reva says, I used to do that all the time, just concentrate on the bold color. Yeah, I'll have to remember that. I have to remember that. For some reason, because the radio button also has that color showing, so I just automatically, my eyes just automatically go to the last number. I can't tell you how many times I've done this. It's crazy. So now back on track. It's all good. It's all good. Crisis averted. Crisis averted. So this is the correct color here. I think that one is not correct either, so I'm going to restitch over the wrong color, and hopefully no one will notice. No one will notice. Chan says that's why. That's why she's sticking with a pattern keeper. Maybe because the typefaces and also whether it's bold or not has a lot of impact on where our eyes go. That's why design is so important. Typography, they're not just there to make it pretty, but also as a guide, you know, to lead your eyes to a certain spot. But in theory, I should have gone to the bold number, but for some reason I don't. That's quite odd, because bold is supposed to stand out a little bit more. So maybe it's the location of the number. So, and I can't really hide the stitch count, the total stitch count doesn't allow me. So I just have to be mindful as I move forward. And the thing is, I switch around 3 different apps. So I have to get my head around every time I move on to a different app. You know, I use Markup, I use Saga, I use Pattern Keeper. And it's good fun. You know, they do different things. But at the same time, you have to kind of readjust every time you switch. But it's all good now, all good now. So I've got these ones done. And let me know what you're working on today. I've done these ones. Oh, so Nikki is going to use Saga for a new piece. Yeah, it's good fun because it Saga allows you to work on, it's a stitch in a very different way that Pattern Keeper doesn't really allow you to do. Pattern Keeper is, I think, is more designed for it's more designed for parking and cross country, that kind of stuff. So every app has its own sort of strength, and that's why I'm using all of them. All of them. But I do try to attach a piece, any given piece, to an app rather than, trying to switch them around. It's going to get very confusing. So, which I won't do. And all these ones are done. Beautiful. So 3693 36 369. Oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm reading the last number. That's why I couldn't find it. Oh my goodness, because the number changed. Jesus, I never learned. 3727 instead. My goodness. It's quite interesting. I'll probably compare this screen to Pattern Keeper because Pattern Keeper, I don't have this number. I don't have this problem. So it's very interesting. So I'm going to commit these stitches and move on to the next one. I think I've got one more to go. So all on stitch area within this box here, they all share the same color. So it'd be quite fun to stitch because literally I don't have to look at the pattern. I can just stitch away. So this color, I'm going to be very, very careful and go for the bold text. 917, 917. 917, I need a new thread. It's really interesting because I came from design background, so typefaces and typography is always a kind of quite a critical part of design. So as I said, it's functional and it has impact on the readability because you're literally using the typefaces and the type, font sizes to guide the viewer's eyes. And if it's not done properly, you mislead, where the eye should go. So it's an art form. So here we go. Oh, and you know what? I just did something so funny. I just folded my thread into two and tried to do a two strand. Oh dear. It just, where does that come from? Where does that come from? No wonder I was having trouble threading through two strands to a 28 size 28 needle. Gee. Right. It can only go up from here. I made all the mistakes that I can possibly make in the first 10 minutes. So the only way is up. So she says. I'm actually going to move this markup upwards. I think it's probably better. Whoops. What have I done here? Not this one. It's that one I want to move. Maybe I'll move it up here. Decisions. And practically all on the stitch area, I can just move freely around them and just fill them up. This is what it kind of makes this method quite fast and really fun as well, because once you get to the last color, you know what you have to do. So I might actually be able to stitch a tiny bit faster than usual. There's hope. Grace says, "Hi Yogi, I'm watching your patchwork quilt rim stitching from yesterday, trying to catch up. Now I want to purchase that one too." Go for it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's beautiful. So, I mean, these are the pieces are so timeless. You know, even if you don't stitch them now, you know you have it safely, and you can stitch them when you're ready. The quilt room is really beautiful. It was probably in fact, it was probably the first one, the first Heaven and Earth full coverage I ever bought. Because I saw there was a YouTube channel, a lovely lady stitching it on 14 counts, and I just fell in love with it. I think any pattern that's got quilt rim on it, I want it. Oh, Jan Creation. She says, "I think I will one day try markup, but I'll never figure out how to navigate it when it comes to the pages." Yes, I think one of the biggest witnesses of markup comparing to the other two apps, there are many folds. One is, well, I think probably the part they really need to work on is, first of all, interface, usability, right? And then also the performance as well. So I think underneath, markup is actually quite powerful if you look at the functionality, you know, the pattern recognition. And I use markup solely for my paper patterns, because you know, the other two apps, they don't really allow me to do that, to import paper patterns. So markup is quite special in that sense. But when it comes to performance, not so great, because for some reason there's there's a slight sluggishness to it, and I don't know why that is. For modern apps to be so sluggish is quite unusual. But on top of that, I can probably say, they can correct me if I'm wrong, I would say it's an app that's designed by a technical person, by a developer. Whereas, if you look at Pattern Keeper, it's also developed by a technical person, obviously. I think just one person. There was a lady who was pretty much building the whole thing. But you can tell she's definitely got some design flair to it in terms of not just visual, but usability. There's some very kind of nice design consideration to it. The shortcuts, the double tap, anything that makes the interface quite simple, quite accessible. We get to enjoy that with Pattern Keeper. But Markup has a lot of quite advanced functionality. You can sort colors, you can recognize colors, you can manually kind of modify thread colors, stitches, how the thread colors associate to symbols, etc. All these functionality are there for the app, but the output isn't so great. That's why you can't find pages. The functionality is there, but it's like, how do I describe it? It's like all the nice stuff, they get buried under not so wonderful interface. So it's convoluted. The performance isn't so great. It sounds like a markup bashing session. It's not really that. It's maybe something for them to consider as they move forward with the development, because these things are not, everything I've said so far, none of them is fancy. None of them is extravagant or luxury. These are basic functionality that you need to provide for an app. It's really simple. So we're not asking for something that's, fireworks and bells and whistles. These are just very basic ground level requirement for an app. Particularly, they now charge annual fee. So I'm paying for the same app every year, over and over again, pretty much. So, and I haven't really seen, a lot of changes to it, to be honest, over 2 years. So, so if you can't find something, it doesn't mean it's not there. It's just, it's not very easy to use. But once you figure it out, yeah, you can get by. But it's not the best experience, I have to say. So there you go. I'm not bashing the app. I want it to get better, so everybody get to enjoy a good product. So Nikki says, I purchased Markup a long time ago, but never use it. Yes, Nikki, if you have paperback patterns, I think, it would be a very good reason to use Markup. There's manual things you have to do to readjust to make it kind of work well, but it's quite doable. And I'm grateful to have that option, because otherwise I'll have to use sort of PDF highlighter, as I used to do before I came across markup. So River's working on elegance in a part today and tomorrow. 78%. Well done. Wow. Rose is stuck at work today. Yes. Just say, well, I've got something really, really important I have to do. And the boss will go, yeah, what would that be? Then you can explain. I'm sure he will understand. I'll go, oh yeah, stitching emergency. Of course, we get those all the time. So go for it. It's gonna be a payday, pay leave for the day, because it's important. Stitching is important. The boss will understand. Hey, Suzanne, welcome. Kelly's here as well. Kelly's Quilt and Cruises. I love that name. She says, hello, Yogi and Stitches. It's hot in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia. Wow. Hiding inside with the central AC going. Yes. I mean, London has been a lot cooler the last 2-3 days. So actually rained a little bit as well. Not too much, but tiny bit, just tiny bit. It's a nice relief from almost a month of hot days we have. So maybe one more stitch. I'm gonna end this. Oh, I've got my coffee here as well. I just brewed a new cup just before the stream. Just fancy some coffee. I know it's a little bit later in the evening, but why not? It's delicious. And I'm going to tuck this in. This is so nice because I'm literally not looking at the app at all, because I know where the stitches should go. It's very relaxing. And I need a new thread. One at 917. I got it right this time. 917. Frankie's here as well. Welcome, Frankie. try to thread a single strand instead of two. Oh yeah, let me paste the link to the group for people who haven't joined. Let me see if I can do that without breaking anything. And then I'm going to pin it. So I'm going to pin the URL for the Facebook group on top of the chat. So if you would like to join, that's the URL for you. So with the group, we're going to be, we're already doing that. We're sharing webs, any webs you've done that you're working on. And also, we're going to be doing our first stitch along saw tomorrow. And every Wednesday, and we're going to update, provide updates for the webs, for the progress on the Facebook group. So it'll be quite fun to look at what everybody's doing. Oops. There's so much going on with the color transition. So this is Max colors, in case I haven't mentioned that. And this piece I've been working on maybe for over 2 years now, and cycling through, you know, other pieces obviously. But double check the percentage there. I think 13%. Yeah, 13.6. So it's pretty good going, comparing to most of my webs. Most of them are firmly single digit at this point. That's normal for me. I think this piece, by Amy Stewart. It's quite popular, but also, you know, Amy Stewart has got quite diverse style as well. I've got another piece. It's called Grandma's Attique, and the style is very different. The palettes, color palettes, are very different. But this one is quite quintessential Amy Stewart, I think. A lot of pinks, quite vibrant in colors. And really cozy as well. Whimsical, cozy. And I'm going to see. Okay, a few more over here. So I've got, let me have a look. Probably over 100 stitches of this color remaining. Doesn't look it. There's just some spaces here for me to fill in. And I hope Gayla is feeling better. She came on yesterday and said she suffered, I'm presuming, probably minor stroke, because if it was, you know, major stroke, there was just no way she could have been on a chat yesterday. But I hope if you're listening, Gayla, or watching, we're here with you. Suzanne says, I didn't like markup and the cost makes it not worth it. Yeah, it really depends. If you're only using digital patterns and you know you have access to Android, then stick with Pattern Keeper. But Suzanne, I know you're using Saga because you're on iOS. Yeah, I say if you're only doing digital patterns, use either Saga or Pattern Keeper. But I think, you know, your options probably narrow down a little bit if you can't gain access to Saga for whatever reason, for the file format reason, but also you don't have Android tablet, and markup is pretty much the only choice left. So it's all about choices. I mean, you know, I actually bought an Android tablet just so I could use Pattern Keeper. So Oh, Suzanne started mini love letters. That's such a sweet piece, isn't it? Did you go for, are you going for the mini or the full size? I love that piece. There's so much going on there. And to be honest, when I got that piece, I thought it was one of the Amy Stewart pieces because it's got that felt to it, you know, the bright colors, you know, the coziness. But it's actually not Amy Stewart. It was the name, the artist's name. I butcher every time I pronounce the name. Chiro, Machete. You can pick the one you like, but it's a beautiful piece. It's got kind of a similar feel to this piece, actually. I think that's why I thought for a while I kept thinking it was Amy Stewart piece, but it's not. I need to get some fabric as well. I'm thinking about maybe getting 28 counts. It's starting to kind of, you know, I just really like the idea of trying something that's smaller, a tiny bit smaller. Not 32. That'd be crazy. Brittany, no names. But yes. And Brittany, I actually saw your post on the Facebook of your beautiful work. And it's hard to tell because it's a close-up photo, so it's hard to appreciate how small those stitches may be. So Brittany is stitching on 32 count 1/1, and the stitches are tiny, but I'm sure if you look at them in flesh, probably even tinier. To end this thread. Let's get one more. 917. 917. Probably take 2. Ouch. So I don't have to keep going back. So I've got one more strand here to waiting for me on the side there. Enjoy your lunch, Kelly. Oh, Suzanne, you're on Android. Okay, so you have both choices. You have Keeper and Saga. So you've got Android version of Saga. Hey, Joyce. Hello. Joyce is here. Joyce, I've seen your beautiful floss organizer. It looks so neat. Ready for tomorrow. And I love your frame as well, your wooden frame. I've never used those. Oh, yeah, it is Amy Stewart. I'm getting confused. Yes, the chocolate shop is Amy Stewart. Why did I think it was someone else? Why did I think it was the other person? Because I'm trying to think. Yes, it is Amy Stewart. You're quite right. I'm getting very confused. Because there are quite a couple of other pieces. You know the piece I did, which one is that? The one with the kitchen? Not so much the kitchen. Oh yeah, the quilt room. The one with dresses. For some reason I thought that one was Amy Stewart as well. It's got kind of that kind of color palette and style. But you're quite right. I was getting confused there. The love letter chocolate shop is actually Amy Stewart. Hi, cherries, or Sherry's rather. Sherry's working, so she's listening. Hi, Janelle. Good morning. Joy says my frame is a millennium frame from Needle Needs in UK. Okay, is that made to order type of thing? And how do you, where do you put the frame? Do you just rest the frame on the table, on the desk, or do you have some sort of stand to prop it on? I've seen some of the Japanese floss tubers. All of them seem to be using some sort of metal frame, similar to yours, but there's metal ones. And but you do need some sort of stand to rest it on. And Jeanette is here. She says good evening. Everybody's a different time zone. So that's why I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and anything between. It's so freeing. I can just fill in the stitches without having to look at the pattern. Oh, so you do have a stand. Okay. Yeah, I kind of entertain the idea of getting those frames, but it's just the fact that the practicality of framing the fabric, because I've got so many pieces and I kind of cycle them around. I think it's quite good if you pretty much just working on one or two projects and you have one of them, on those frames, because you probably don't want to take it off constantly and place a different project on. It's probably quite a lot of work. Almost done with this corner here. Oops. And Jeanette asks, do you usually stream about the same time? No, not the same time every day, but roughly around probably within a 2-hour window every day. So, it's not really possible for me to kind of block off the same time every day. So I normally kind of leave a little bit of flexibility there. So depends on where you are. So I'm in the UK, so normally between 7 to 9, within a 2-hour window. So I do my best to kind of get it started within this sort of 2-hour range. But Some days I do, I come on a little bit earlier, some days a little bit later. I think the latest, the other day, I didn't start till about nearly 11, maybe 10:30 over here in the UK. So it's a little bit later in the afternoon if you're in the US. So no fixed time. But I try to give out some sort of, notice, schedule notice, so people roughly know what time I'm going to start that day. So here we go. Ooh, that looks so nice and tidy here. And still a little bit left with this thread. I'm going to move over here. Oh, so Joyce has got more than one frame. Yeah, that's a thing. Consider, if you look at in my case, I've got about God knows how many webs going on there, and it would be quite tricky to dedicate a frame per project. But also, what about the width? The width of the fabric, because majority of the Heaven and Earth projects, they're fairly large. So how do you deal with the size of the fabric, or do they have to fit onto the width, the maximum width of the frame? Oops, I wonder. Because they seem to be able to provide pretty good tension for the fabric, which I like. I mean, with loops, or hoops rather, they are okay, depends on the brands. Some of them a little bit flimsy, some of them more solid, but it's always tricky to get the right tension. I like my fabric quite tight, so. Okay, so they have different widths. Yeah. I'm just thinking, because I'm thinking about my Gecko Rouge project, which is the size of a small blanket, So how am I going to fit it on a frame like that? Whoops. It's getting a little bit short there. A bit trickier. See if I can manage this 2 stitches here. One more. Oh, hang on. This doesn't, Oh, that one doesn't look right. Okay, so I missed this color. I thought that dark pink looked slightly weird, and it turned out, of course, I stitched the wrong color for this block. So this piece will be very unique for me. It's different from everybody else's version. That's okay, I can just stitch over it in a bit. So let me just double check. Oh, Sarah. Sarah says, just created my first ever Facebook account and posted a couple of pictures in the group. Amazing. The first ever? You never had one? Wow, most people probably have one sort of lurking there, but not being used. That was me. I had to revive it. And actually I created another one to match the channel name, so wow, the first one. Congratulations. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but I'm so glad you can join the group. And I'll definitely have a look at your pictures as soon as I can. This is a brand new chapter for Sarah. Oh, so Joy says, also referring to the frame question. She says also you can get extra scroll bars. Ha. And leave a project on so you can use the side tensioners for another web. I see. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I kind of just assumed that unless you just work on one project or something like that, it's not really practical to use frames like that. Take a sip of my coffee. You see, where am I? Here. Oh wow, so they make really big ones. I think it would be quite nice if it was adjustable. So, you can just, it's a bit like, what is it called? Q snaps. Not quite the same thing, but if you could sort of swap different bits up the frame to make it bigger or smaller, that would be quite nice. Q-snap I was really into for a little while, but I almost don't use them now because it's just impossible to maintain sort of tension for the fabric properly. So it gets very frustrating. I'm gonna fill up this area and then come back to fix this. there are mistakes. There's a mistake there. I did think that bit was looking a little bit strange. I'm kind of thinking about what we talked about yesterday, about how to stitch faster. So technically, if you don't pull your thread all the way up or all the way down or something like that, I think you probably have to pull it down properly. I don't know. I think my instinct will fight against it because I just want to pull the strands, the threads quite tight. Well, not tight, but you know, all the way down or up. Otherwise it just feels like you haven't done it properly. Let me see if I pull it halfway like that and then go down. I think it's gonna be disastrous. It's gonna get snagged. Let me see. Ew, okay. That doesn't feel good. Unless I'm doing it wrong. Let's say if I just pull it like that. Oh no, it gets tangled. Oh no. It's not working for me. I don't like it. Let me have a look. What's happening here? I think kind of got tangled. I knew it. I'm happy to be slow. Hey, Carrie Van Kessel. Probably butchered that. She says hello from Canada. Welcome, Carrie. Trying to see, are these ones? So I'm doing this bit. Okay. Double checking. Have I, Kerry? That's rare. So I teach yoga, and with each class in the beginning, normally you're kind of required to take register. So you have a list, and every time it's a challenge because the regulars I know, but very often there will be people, new coming to the class, and I'll be struggling getting their names right, because everybody's got sort of all sorts of surnames, even just first names. I get it wrong very frequently. So it's a laugh a minute. A good way to start a class, though. You break the ice. So fast. You can just keep stitching. So I think that bit is, oh, have I missed? It looks like I missed one stitch there. How naughty. Or have I stitched the wrong number, wrong color? It just doesn't look quite right. That's all right. I'll just stitch over it. Let me have a look, double check. That one. Why does it look grey? It's a mystery. A few more stitches over here. I actually saw someone completing this piece in mini on Instagram. And to be honest, a lot of times mini look pretty good, comparing to regular sizes. But for some reason, when I saw mini of this one, it just feels like a lot of details not being captured, probably because it's got so much going on. If you look at the, let me bring up the full mock-up. Not this one. That's our Facebook. Yes, like this one. If you look at how much going on, particularly on the right side of the design, it's very hard to capture the definition of those cakes, for instance, in mini. And that's what I found, because when I saw the photos on the Instagram, I didn't realize it was a mini, and I thought, oh, why does it look kind of slightly blurry? And I was a bit worried, actually. I thought, well, I'm stitching this piece, and that was the final look. And then I realized it was a mini. I kind of felt a little bit better because the mini version of this piece does look a little bit on the blurry side. So that's a little bit of a shame. It's still lovely, but I really want to capture all the details of those, little cupcakes and bits and pieces there. So sometimes, yeah, I suppose max colors or maybe even supersize is appropriate for the design. one there. So there's something to bear in mind if you're looking to buy a mini of this particular design. One more here. I'm going to end this thread, and I've got about maybe under 10 stitches to go with this color. Joy says, I had some doubts about the mini patchwork quote room. I had both the mini and the regular on my wish list. So the one I'm doing yesterday, for instance, that's a mini. And I think it's worked out quite well because the definition of the windows and the flower basket, they've been captured quite well. If you look at the markup, let me bring up that one so you know what we're talking about. The mini quilt room, if I can find it. Not that one, I want a full one. So this is the piece I worked on yesterday. Let me find it on my list. I have too many markups here. Quilt room. Where are you? Oh yeah, here we go. So let me turn that one off. Right. So if you look at, because I haven't got to the bottom right, which is probably the busiest area, I don't know how well mini is going to fare. But currently, I worked on from upper left toward bottom right. If you look at the left side of the markup there's a kind of a, I don't know what that is, kind of a blanket type thing. There's a lot of confetti there. I think maybe you do lose a little bit of the definition of the pattern for sure, because there's so much going on. So maybe there's something for you to think about. I'm quite happy with the results I've got, but you know, if you really want that, the detail of the fabric, you know, and the patterns there, then maybe go for regular or max color, because it's, you know, when you get to the sort of quite a lot of textile items on the bottom right there, maybe you are going to lose some details there, so that's inevitable. But yeah, so far I quite enjoy the mini version. So let me have a look at the cake shop. Where is it? Come back. I can't believe how many projects I've got here. Here we go. So that's what we're working on today. Yeah, it's all about, I think the balance is somewhere in the middle there, is, you know, how important those details are for you, for that particular piece. And Joyce is really clever. She basically printed out the PDF for the thread list from Heaven and Earth, and just used that as the thread cards. Very, very clever. If you don't know what they look like, go to the Facebook group. Joyce has posted a beautiful work on that. A few stitches over here. Let me have a sip of my drink. Bring up the mock-up here. I remember when I first got this pattern, it was briefly after I pretty much dedicated every single day working on the Gecko Rouge project, which, you know, is massive. But I would just got to the point I was feeling quite fatigued of that project. And then I got this pattern. And then I got really obsessed with this pattern. So I kept working on it for months. Every day I put in a few stitches in. And then somehow I just kind of parked it aside and got distracted by other projects. And then finally this year, picking it back up, really happy. Let me see if we can thread this through. So pretty. So I think that one should be this color. This little grey dot there. For some reason I must have stitched the wrong color there. It just doesn't look right. And so I'm gonna just stitch over it and pretend it never happened. Much better. So these ones, just checking there. These ones are using this color as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start from there. Okay. These ones over here. One, two, three. Trying to identify what they are. Oh, I know. Right. For some reason, these stitches are already marked on my app. That's why it's confusing. And it's one stitch over here. Two. I think the last two. Of this color here. There. Beautiful. And I'll see what I can do with this little area there. So it should be, let's see what color it should be. That one. So it should be 3727. 917. It should be 3727. Right. So it should be this color. For some reason I totally missed that. So I'm going to stitch over it. Let's see if you could tell that these stitches are being stitched twice. The proof is in the pudding. Let's have a look. Live on Slow Stitch Yogi's channel live stream. Ooh, dear. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. It's a little bit tricky. How does that look? a tiny bit of the darker color showing through, but I'm sure after a while, you zoom out a little bit, you probably wouldn't be able to see it. I'm hoping. Hmm. Hmm. It is better, but they're not the prettiest stitches you ever see. But then again, it's my work, so no such thing as pretty stitches. So these bit does get a little bit tight here, slightly trickier to stitch, but I think I'll manage. It's magic. It's magic. Camouflage. A little bit better. 2 more stitches. It's getting quite tight in this area. Understandable, because they're being stitched twice. Let me see if I can manage this one. One more. Extreme stitching. It's like extreme sport stitching. One more. One more leg. There. Never said it was going to be pretty, but we got there in the end. Oh, Joyce. Yes, I'm totally fishing for compliments. You know, I'm one of those really passive aggressive. You know, is my bum big in this dress or whatever it is? I'm hoping people will go, oh no, it's actually, you look fabulous. Something like that. Yes. So you're falling for it. You're falling for it, Joyce. I wouldn't say my stitching is always very neat. No way. Comparing to your work, I'm a messy, messy stitcher. But it's not too bad. If you come back later, now I'm kind of focusing on this area. I can see it's a little bit, there's something unusual going on there. But if you come back tomorrow or just zoom out, I'm hoping you forget about this episode. It never happened. Never happened. Right, so looks like this area is done. My goodness. And from here, Joy says, but your stitches are much neater. No way. Have you seen your own work, darling? I think, I think, I think that's called neatness, the way you're working. I'm just getting by. It's all right. See? Can't see the difference, can you? Oh, River is a well, River was a firefighter. Amazing. And she says, one day I put on all my big heavy gear and asked the rest of the crew. I know where this is going. I haven't read it, but I know where this is going. And asked the rest of the crew, does this outfit make my butt look fat? Oh dear. Never ask a question if you don't want the answer. Oh dear, yes. I know, very dangerous question. Very dangerous question. Right, so I'm going to move just to show you what I'm going to do here. Let me show you my iPad view. So this area is done. Amazing. And I'm going to move it down now. I'm going to work on the area below. How exciting that every time I finish a blog, I get to move it to a different area. So I'm going to move it down, but I'm not going to be that ambitious. I'm going to narrow it down to 2 rows. So I think what I'm going to do is to move it up. So I'm working, well, it's still quite big though. It's about 10 blocks. Well, just under 10 blocks. So this is the area I'm going to be focusing on. And there you go. Let's hope. Oops, already. I'm just marking the stitches without doing them. Let's hope that I won't make any more mistakes. One can hope. Here. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm going to work from the color that has got minimum number of stitches and gradually move up. That's the plan. So I'm going to do a lot of single stitches to start with. They're just the nature of things with this method. Here we go. Joyce, you just being humble. Carrie says, my stitching is always look chaotic because of my hundreds of part threads. But I think that's why people love parking, because if you look at part threads, imagine if you've never seen people part threads before. I'm trying to recall the first time I saw someone doing the parking method. I don't know how to describe it. I was mesmerized, but at the same time terrified. Oh, let me have a sip of water there. But the thing about parking method is the, hang on. Apologies. I had to cough for a little bit. I had tickly throat for some reason. It's handy to have a mute button, so you don't have to hear me coughing. No one likes that. So, first color. Five one eight. 518. We need a new thread. Oh, Grace has asked a very good question about backing up patterns. But I think it's pattern keeper she's referring to. It's a little bit of a hassle because you have to back up file by file. So imagine if I have like 20 different projects going on there. I have to individually go in and back up manually. I wish they have an option for app level backup. So you just back up everything that you've got within the app, and even better, automatic backup. You don't have to manually do it. That would be nice. That would be very nice. One stitch here. Really nice blue. First stitch for this new area. 518. 518. Remember to look at the right number. Oh, Sarah says, I save my progress to my email. That's a really nice option as well. If you don't have a sort of a storage cloud space, even though Google is free, iCloud is free, up to certain capacity. But email is a good option because you can always refer to the email. And it's time stamped as well. So, nice idea. 809. 809. And it's just over here. I don't know what's going on with my throat. But the other day, I actually tried the backing up via Saga. I probably did it wrong because there are many, quite a few options for backup. And because I was trying to test whether I could save my progress from my iPad and then load it up on my iPhone. And it didn't work. It didn't work out the way I wanted to because all it did was to upload the actual file, but not the progress. So I have to figure out what I've done wrong there. Because it's supposed to carry everything over, but it didn't. 809. Carrie! Better to have the frog attack on your throat rather than your stitching. Very true, Carrie. Very true. That's a comment coming from a true stitcher, you know? Absolutely. Or you have to make those extreme maneuvering that I did with that area. Stitching everything twice. Exactly. Well said. Well said. 341. 341. Yes, there are quite a few options for cloud space. It's completely free, so I use them all as usual. So I use iCloud, I use Dropbox, I use Google Drive. 1, 2. Just one stitch here. Got to be really careful with the location of these single stitches because it's very easy to get it wrong at this stage. So 341, pop it back. And I'm just going to Oh dear. What have I done? What? I just did something very strange here on my app. Okay. Hang on. I just marked something I shouldn't be marking. And I was getting very confused. Here we go. Better. Right. That one is done. 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 4. 8, 1, 4. 8, 1, 4. Here we go. River says you need to click on Save Pattern Markup. You're referring to Saga. So when you have that pop-up window, why don't I bring this one up so we can all see? So let's see. I can't really remember how to save it. I think it's from here, and you select the, yes, this is where I got very confused, because there's export Saga pattern, which is not what we want. There's backup pattern and progress. That was the one I chose. And then the save stitching progress, is it just saving? Is that different from backup? And also you've got add stitching progress plus. It's very confusing. So I don't know what I'm saving. So I chose the second one, and it just came out. The pattern got loaded up, but it was blank. No progress got transferred over. So I don't know which one's the trying to say pattern markup. Which one is that? I can't see it on the list. No, I don't have it. I don't know. That's why it didn't work out. So there we go. Oh, I see. So Android looks a little bit different. Let me have a look. The fourth one, let me see. Fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, add stitching progress. So that's the one. So why don't I have a backup? Because backup implies that you back the progress up. So the correct one is add stitching progress. That is so strange. Is that correct, River? If that's the correct one, I'll definitely try again. Right, so this one goes over here. 1, 2. I'm going to end here, just one single stitch there. There's so much detail just being captured on just a tiny little decoration on the wall there, the saucer there. Let me see. A14. I will try again, River. Thank you. I'll probably just try them all to see which one worked, but which one works. But it's a bit of it shouldn't be so confusing. 3A5A. 3A58. 3A58. 1, 2. So 3A5A, I can pop it back. Three 3A32. 3H32. It's like a treasure hunt on my needle parking board there. If I can find one to thread it, oh, it's like winning a prize. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just one stitch. Next one. 3768. 37. Six, 8, 3, 7. Oops. Why did I do that? Try to fold it in half to get 2 strands. It's just all weird today. Here we go. And from here, 3 up. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. It's worth counting because if I get it wrong, it's just not. It's no fun. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And 3 to the right as well. When you're doing single stitches like this, normally happens if you stitch this way from the minimum number of stitches going up, you're planting these loose stitches everywhere, and there are not that many stitches around them to you can use for reference. So it gets a little bit you know, challenging. But that's part of the fun. There. 3, 7, 6, 8. Next, 402. Let me see how many single stitches I've got here. A few more to go. 402. Here. 1, 2. Next one. 335. about 1, 2. Suzanne says I'm very bad at counting. It helps a lot. Oh, okay. I missed the comment about it. Suzanne says I use the crosshair option to make the cross in the middle. Crosshair option. Oh, you mean on the app? Yes. I have tried that a little bit, but the thing is, if you're not marking the fabric as well, then you still have to count, don't you? Because I wanted to make a mark in the middle of the square, but and then I kind of just gave up on that. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until I discovered not Pattern Keeper, the Saga. I didn't even know you're supposed to mark 5 stitches square. I didn't know that it was an option. So I'm just learning as I go. But I suppose if you have that sort of marking turned on Saga, but you don't have it on your fabric, then it could. I'll probably still need to count 3, 3, 5. But I've seen people. I think again, who's that lady? Stitching masterpieces. She actually uses 2 different colors. I think she grids the fabric herself. I think she used one color for the 10 by 10, and then a different color to mark the center of the 10 by 10 block. So I guess that's an option. Just haven't really thought of that. Yeah, I do count because otherwise it can be quite disastrous. Right. Oh dear. This one is 3. 3. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not great with counting. Not at all. 1, 2. And you can just anchor it over here. Oh, Suzanne, so yes, you got the idea from stitching masterpieces, because the idea of marking 5 by 5 isn't that popular over here, I think. Because Pattern Keeper, can you even do that with Pattern Keeper? I think you can only, well, you can mark everything 5 by 5, but then you lose the definition of 10 by 10. You can't have both, I don't think. So I have to say that perhaps it's not very popular outside, maybe Russia, but they're so clever. They're so clever. 3, 7, 4, 3. 3, 7, 4, 3. Let's have a look. 4, 3. Yes, I've got it. Threaded. So 1, 2, 3. It's a lot easier when you start to build up more stitches, providing they're in the correct location. Otherwise, you just become more wrong. This color is so pale. With pale colors, sometimes it's very, very hard to tell if it's being stitched at all. Here we go here. There. I mean, these loose ones probably have taken more time than me doing about 100 stitches over there. That's the path of this way of stitching. And then it gets faster as you start to move up the number of stitches per color. Next one, 758, and it's a little bit of a potluck because it depends on what which area you select. And it can vary quite a lot. 758, 758. So that's all part of the fun. You don't know what you're gonna get. There. A single stitch. Choice. You're making fun of me. 758. 758. But some people have issues with letters, like dyslexia, right? I think I've got the number version of that. Seriously. If I look at a number and if it's, over 4 digits, I start to lose focus. I just cannot even figure out what it is. So maybe something that kind of made this way. I don't know. With pictures, visual things, I can see it really well. And I wouldn't say I have photographic memory. I wouldn't say that. But I think holistically, I can remember a lot of things. But when things become too micro, I'm more of a macro person. I remembered, big stories, but minor details, I tend kind of just not able to focus on. And same thing with numbers. Numbers, I find it very, very hard. It just loses meaning. When people start to quote numbers or dates or anything to do with numbers, I just go into sort of, coma in my head. 407. 407. I can manage 3 digits. It's 407. But with these numbers, I have to read it out loud. I have to say, call it out so I can hear it in my head. Otherwise, I forget in 3 seconds. 407. Two there. 1 2 1 2. There. Suzanne as well, really? Right. Maybe that's why I'm always so happy when I look at my bank account, because I just I just think it's got, I just add mentally, I just add 3 more digits on everything. 407. You can't have everything, you know. 225. 225. 225. Yeah, just one stitch here. Ooh, maybe I could reuse that bit. I fancy some chocolate, actually. Chocolate time. There you go. Today's chocolate of my choice, the plain one. Dark chocolate, 74%. Yes. Suzanne says my son is a maths wizard and he's constantly counting out loud, makes my brain hurt. Oh, really? So he's good at maths, but he's counting out loud. I'm doing it for a different reason, because I'm terrible with maths, terrible with numbers. So I need to kind of read it back to myself. Otherwise, I'd be totally lost. It's amazing that I'm actually doing cross stitching where you have to count all the time. I don't know how I manage. It's one really pale color. I think there's one more on top there. It's unstitched. I'm going to just go ahead and fill in with this color. No one will know. No one will notice. Oh, the chocolate is so good. Right. Cheers. Oh, so he's autistic, but he's very, very good at math. Yes, for some reason. Some of them have sort of really good memories. And some of them, you know, can listen to music and just work out what they are. It's fascinating. Joy says, on this web, I've switched 938 and 839. My brain starts to hurt just reading it. And 3722 and 3722 and 3772. My God. Oh my God, my brain hurts as well. Yes, why did I make it like so similar? Why can't I just make them so unique that even people like me cannot get it mixed up? Oh, Jan. So you had to pop somewhere and came back. Yes, I normally get it going for about 3 hours, but it never feels like 3 hours. It feels like about an hour. But yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, Suzanne, it's better to check. It's better to be careful, mindful, and sorry. Well, not that it wouldn't happen. It would still happen, but maybe a little bit less. 436. 436. I'm glad I'm not alone. Not completely. 436. The double check, triple check, and then check one more time. 2 from here. I was terrible, really, really terrible at maths. It just didn't make sense. I just didn't know why I need to do a calculation and what they mean to me. As a human being, I just couldn't understand it. No idea whatsoever. And one more, 3, 4, 3, 6. Oh, the chocolate really hits a spot. Just what I needed. Oh yes, we're moving up to 2 stitches. Yay. 156. 156. Amazing. Two. One here. And 1, 2, 3 from here. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Oh, extreme stitching. Stitching is extreme sport. to 156, going back. Yeah, I think everybody's brain is built so differently. Because for me, I can look at a color and I can break it down into different tones. And for some people, that doesn't make sense. Probably that's why I went into design and artistic things. But for some people, this is just pink or purple, whatever. But I can actually see there are more colors underneath. So that helps. But that's my brain. And my brain is more geared toward visual things. 3A05. And some people more, geared towards numbers. We're built differently. 3A05. And also, I don't know what's to do anything to do with being terrible with anything that requires precision and details. I have troubles with direction as well. I am terrible. I can get lost very, very easily. And even places I've been to many times. So if I take a different route or walk on a different side of the streets, I can literally just get lost. It's like that. So with our Google map, I'm hopeless. I'm probably still lost somewhere out there in London. I can't find my way home. 1, 2, 3. So Suzanne recognizes patterns better as well. So you're a visual person as well, I can imagine. And oh, Joy says, I tried memorizing the color names until the names start to pop in my brain. Hearing or reading the number. Oh, I don't want to have that all the time. I must be driving you crazy because I call out the numbers all the time. So I know what I'm doing. Wow. So do you find it really easy to remember things even when you don't want to? That is fascinating because if you don't know, Joyce literally knows what color DMC, all the DMC colors. If you read out a number, she will know not only the color but the name associated with it, because each color has, I think, some sort of, official names. And yeah, must be such a burden to remember everything. Oh, I don't have that problem. I don't remember a thing. 3A05. 3A05. Oh man. Maybe that's why I like Joy so much, because we're quite opposite in terms of how our brain works. I mean, her setup and everything's so neat. If you go to the Facebook group that we have and look at Joyce's organizer, I mean, it's just so clean and tidy and everything. Whereas if you look at my organizer, it looks like this. Let me hang on, let me show you. Just look at the contrast. Hang on, let me just turn on the focus here. Yeah, maybe we need to post a picture side by side of our organizers here. I mean, this one isn't too bad. Let me show you the other one. Literally, if you're a very neat person, you probably have a little bit of anxiety attack. So this is my CXC set, and I've got so the numbers are actually written on a piece of masking tape because I couldn't be bothered to print to make new cards. So I just reuse the old ones and just put a tape over it and then right on top of it. You can still see the numbers, the old numbers underneath, and I've got my threads everywhere. And so this is the state of my thread organizer. And in contrast, let me just show you. We can go and have a look at let's have a look at Joy's version of the thread organizer here. Let me show you. So, my God. Let's look at a slightly different approach here. Let me just bring this up. Refresh. Oh, there you go. That is one of the pictures. I think there are more. Is that a different one? Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, there's some whips being posted. Very nice. Who's this? Sarah's. Is that a deer? That's beautiful. That looks massive. 69%. Congratulations. And this is the whip, the style of her choice here. Let's look at the let's just move forward here. Oh, I'm just getting distracted. That's Nikki's work. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I just want to show you. Where is it? Oh, here. There you go. Just look at the setup here. It's so neat. And this is the organizer on the left here. And that's a frame, the wooden frame we were talking about. And just look at how tidy that is. Just look at that. Just look at that. I know it's a new set, but still, I bet it's still going to look like this in about 3 months' time. So, and there's some demonstration there. It's just so neat and tidy. Oh, there you go. I just want to show you the contrast, just to make my point there. There you go. So I'm sure you agree. Very similar kind of organizer, but very, very different approach, presentation, shall I say. Let me zoom in there. Oh, Steve's got. So what Steve says is So Steve has trouble with the left and right. Interesting. I'm actually okay with left and right. My issue is, so for those of you who don't know, I teach yoga. I'm a yoga teacher. So when you're teaching, most teachers will mirror the position. So when I say raise the right arm up, in order to demonstrate it, I should raise my left arm up, and so on and so forth. I can't do it. If I go raise the right arm up, my right arm will go up. I can't force my brain to go, well, now you have to do the opposite. So I can't mirror. And I noticed that from the beginning. And I was so worried. I said, well, I can't teach because I'm going to do, the opposite of what the students are looking at. And I was really worried for a while. And then, it took a while, but I realized it doesn't matter if you actually if you're very, very clear with your instruction. But yeah, I can't mirror Steve. So I'm okay with left or right as long as it's left or right. But if you want me to reverse, in my brain, it just doesn't work. I tried it once with one class and I'll never do it again. So I'll just leave it at that. 327, 327, painful memory. 327. There you go. There's that one over there. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's got their own little quirks. So very often, if I teach students that don't know me very well, then I'll remind them that, I'm not mirroring, I'm doing the same side as you. So you need to listen to my cue carefully. So I mean, that normally fixes the situation. Yeah, but a lot of teachers, a lot of fitness teachers, they can do mirroring, and I just find it so incredible because it doesn't work in my head. My brain just doesn't understand it. Two, 327. Oh, so Joyce, that set you've got there is got, I think mini is about 90 colors, right? But you can just expand that to 457, the full set. I'm sure it would still work. It just need sort of slightly bigger sort of ring, the rings for both sides there. Just make them a little bit bigger, then you'll be fine. Yeah, Steve, I like video games as well. I've been playing sort of, games since I was a kid, so it's kind of part of my life. But I'm terrible. I'm really terrible at it. Anything requires timing or any kind of precision, I just can't. But yeah, it's just not me. 977. 977. So I tend to play games that doesn't require any sort of, I can just take my time, like puzzles and that kind of stuff. 977. Nine, seven, seven. Oh, Suzanne asks, how long do you cut your floss for doing 1/1? So 1/1, I tend to, it's not very precise as usual with me. I measure from the tip of my middle finger there up to my elbow. So that's kind of my sweet spot. So if you have very long arms, then they'll be very long. But yeah, from my elbow to my middle finger there. So I don't know how long that is, maybe 30 centimeters. I'm not too sure. Haven't measured it. But if I do 2 strand, then I double that so I can fold the threads in half, roughly. Oh, Joyce, you think you're on spectrum because it's very, very wide. And you have that kind of almost Rain Man kind of ability. So I think you're getting all the good stuff from being on the spectrum, but not about, negative effects. That's very interesting. There. These little dots look like not much, but these are actually the most laborious part of this way of stitching. Planting seeds before you can fly. 977. 977. Next. 3778. 3778. I'm driving Joyce mad now. 3778. 3778. Oh, Suzanne, half a meter sounds like a lot. Sounds pretty long for 1/1, because the consumption of the threads is so small. It's probably a little bit of hard work because you have to pull your threads, pretty far away, quite high up, and also the threads might eventually get a little bit weakened because it's going through the fabric so many times. So yeah, you can cut it shorter, see how you like it. and then you can kind of readjust it. Everybody's different, I think. So I'm still on 2 stitches per color. Another one down here. Let me see if I can turn that off. Three, seven, seven, 8. 3, 7, 7, 8. So these 2 are done. 3024. 3024. Oh, Jan, I think you're referring to overlapping element of the pages, correct? So that the grayed out normally about 3 stitches or 4 stitches, normally about 3. So those are the overlapping area that you need to define when you import your pattern. You need to tell the app. I think it's the same with Pattern Keeper as well. You need to tell the app that these are overlapping areas. Otherwise, it's going to come out wrong. So, but that's all that is. Normally, they're grayed out slightly, darker. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. But some patterns don't have that. I think Heaven and Earth, I don't think they have any. I think they're quite kind of designed for Pattern Keeper, just to import directly without having to make any adjustments there. But Gecko Rouge, yes, they have the, I think so. I'm trying to remember. It depends on the pattern designers. But the paper ones tend to have those grayed out areas, overlapping areas. 1, 2, 3, 4. practically the same color as the fabric. So Joyce has got a video on her channel on how to make the organizer. So have a look. Hang on. 3024. 3024. Oh, I'm trying to understand what the situation with Jan and markup. How many was showing? So Jan, do you mean you can't find all the pages? So you only see one page. Is that correct? Is that what your confusion is? So there's a navigation thing you could bring up that helps you to move around. It's not intuitive, so it's not you, it's the app. So 647. And also, I think Markup, the channel, YouTube channel, they have some tutorial there, videos, if that helps. 647. 647. But they do have problems with the user interface for sure. Six, 4, 7. Yeah, if you have questions, just post it on the Facebook group. There are lots of people very experienced on the Facebook and also on here. I can help you. I'm learning so much every day. One, two. So there's one over here. And there's another one at the bottom. These colors are so faint, so kind of quite hard to tell where they are. There's one stitch there. 647. I'm gonna keep going till about 11 over here, which is about just over 10 minutes. Zero five. Here we go. Two over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start counting again. It's from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of times with the pre-gridded fabric here, there's gray stitches. Sometimes it confuses me a lot because when you are doing a lot of confetti area, sometimes you mistaken them as being stitched already because of the gray background. So that happened to me too. Maybe I will, I know, I'll do one more color. One more color here. Oh, Joy says colored light can help with pale colors. If you have a magnifier with warm light or a table lamp. Interesting. When you say color light, so light with more saturation, I think. Oh, does it help? Yeah, because sometimes I literally cannot tell the difference between the thread and the background with really pale colors. 5 here. I'm just generally going blind. And that's just the way it is. Let me do one more color. 4, 3, 7. 4, 3, 7. This one, I can tell. This one, this orangey color. So these 2 stitches will be my last ones for today's session. And then I'll show you my progress today, how many stitches I've done, which could be very shocking, obviously. Shockingly small amount. One more here. Pop it back, 3, 4, 3, 7. Right, here we go. Let me switch view here. Let me just zoom out a little bit to see what I've done today. Suzanne says, I think if I buy 25 count again, I'll buy ungridded fabric. Yeah, I have projects ungridded fabric like this and ungridded. I think they both have their own challenges, because for me, the ungridded one is obviously me not being able to define the grid accurately. So that's kind of my problem there as well. And I have situations that I literally counted 1 stitch short, and then I continue to grid, and everything, you know, beyond that point is incorrect. So that happens to me too. So I normally now, with ungridded fabric, I tend to just move 1 block at a time, just in case, rather than gridding the whole thing. I know some people do. I try not to do that because I'm just not very good with counting accurately or being accurate in any shape or form. So that's me. And so this is my progress today. I finished this block. I filled in probably about nearly 150 stitches of the same color pretty much, and then fixed this little thing here, which you probably can't see very well now, I hope. And I try to forget and erase it from my head as if it never happened. So, and then I started to move down here, and this bit is the hardest bit with this way of stitching. Depends on whether you're going from larger number or smaller number to start with. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see, because it's so small. And the first stage is moving from 1 stitch per color, loose colors, and you fill them up, and then you start to speed up, and then at the end you pretty much you can fly through the area and just fill in the final color there. So this is, you know, a little bit the beginning's always a little bit slower. So this is the stage you need to be a little bit patient if you're stitching this way. But I enjoy it. I enjoy all methods. And I want to show you the app as well, just to give you an update on my progress here. So let me switch to my sprint here on the right there, sprint 4. Let me just stop the clock there. So I've done just under 300, 283, which is not too shabby considering my average is about 200, particularly with full cross. Sometimes slower with certain methods. So this is not a bad day at all. And overall, the progress, if you look at the left side of the panel, I'm currently 13.68. So, you know, I'm happy with 2 digits. Doesn't matter what it is. A little bit at a time, 1 stitch at a time. That's my motto here. So I am going to switch back here and show you just a zoomed out version here, and then I'm going to remove the box there so you can see what's going on here. So this is where I am in terms of, you know, in relation to the entire piece. So little bit to go, just a tiny little bit. And I just want to show you this beautiful markup one more time so you know why I'm so obsessed. I really enjoy this piece. It's just full of surprises everywhere you go. At the moment, obviously, I'm on that blue little saucer on the wall toward the top there. You probably can't even see it without me pointing it out. That's how vast these pieces. And let me switch back and just quickly look at the chat before I go. Yes, great advice from Joyce, as usual. And Sarah says, looks great, thank you. Thank you everyone for the chat today. And I hope you enjoy your session too. If you're stitching or if you're at work, I hope your boss didn't find out. And so you can keep enjoying listening to the stream at work. And I hope you enjoyed today's stream. And it's nearly 11 p.m. in the UK. And from the peaceful and loving London, for my flat, I'm going to sign out and say goodbye and good night to you. And so wherever you are, whether it's morning, afternoon, or the evening, enjoy the rest of this beautiful Tuesday. And don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is our first Soul Day, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're working on Kim's work. Just bring your own project and let's get together and stitch together. And also, you're welcome to join the Facebook group as well. I love to see what you're working on. And it's nice to have a little chat. And if you have questions, that is a really, really good forum to ask. Or the experts up here. And not me, but, the rest of them. And so, with that, good night, everyone. Nighty night from London. Night night. Bye. See you tomorrow.